Over the past year in Los Angeles County, California, labor movements related to entertainment such as actors, writers, and production workers have generated attention-grabbing headlines fueled by celebrities.
We are labor and we stand tall and we demand respect.
Solidarity with other unions, and industry impact. But another type of performer has also been fighting for what they see as fair labor conditions in California as well: sex workers. In May 2022, dancers from the Star Garden Topless Bar announced their intention to unionize for better wages, safer working conditions, and against allegedly discriminatory hiring practices.
We're at Star Garden Topless Dive Bar in North Hollywood, and I am one of many strippers who work at this club that are currently on strike, locked out, because we delivered a lawful petition regarding our safety at this club, and we wanted them to change some safety protocols and rehire 2 of our co-workers who've been fired for bringing up safety concerns.
This is important for the wider labor movement because dancers have been excluded for a long time. We haven't been talking about our working conditions because of stigma related to sex work. A lot of the times people are scared to talk about what we actually do because people judge us and because they have really negative emotions about what we do. But the truth is we want safety, we want security, just like everybody else. And so the dancers who are here to fight for that. They want change and they deserve it, just like anybody else who wants a union.
If people haven't noticed, there are certain clubs that are predominantly one race or the other. I would love to be able to abolish that. I would love to be able to abolish prejudice in the clubs.
We need strong anti-discrimination provisions in our contract. They don't pay us, they take half of our lap dance money, and that is wage theft, illegal wage theft, and we need to correct that. We need to be paid, and we can't consent to giving them half of our money at the end of the night.
This is our club, stop stealing our tits! Fuck you! Fuck this! This is our club, stop stealing our tits! Fuck you!
Our next speaker is going to be
Wicked!
I'm going to be here. We are going to be here. We've devoted the next year, however long it takes, to messing with them and messing with their business till they meet with us. Because we are the reason that they have people coming in. Inside there is just too much expensive beer and an empty bar. We are the reason.
Yes!
Union. That's what we're doing. We are now a union, and I can't believe it. But here we are. Thank you all so much for your support.
The owner of the club, Steve Kazarian, has been mostly silent during the dispute. Kazarian is often named during pickets along the narrow strip of sidewalk outside the club.
Steve and Jenny thought they could treat their strippers like dirt because they thought there would be no consequences. They were wrong. Until Steve and Jenny right these wrongs, there will be consequence after consequence after consequence. Steve and Jenny, your dancers have been going easy on you, and you're too fucking stupid to realize that. You have 2 weeks. Steve and Jenny, you have 2 weeks to settle with us before we turn this into a scorched earth campaign. If there's no club for us, there's gonna be no club for you. There's no justice for the dancers. There's gonna be no peace for you.
The pageantry of pickets continued to draw supporters for the dancers' cause.
Strippers are expert entertainers, and we form meaningful relationships with everybody in our community, our customers, and it's been the same way on the picket line. We care about the people that support us and that we work with. So this is the kind of community that strip clubs are really about. That's what a small club like Star Garden is about, coming to this place for connection, and we've built those connections on the picket line, and we can't wait to bring the picket line inside and have a party inside the strip club.
In November of 2022, dancers were back on the picket line with news on their union elections.
So in May, we announced our intention to unionize, Then we ran up against the struggle where we were under-resourced and we needed a big helper to get us across the line, and that was Actors Equity Association. And they came in, they are seeking to represent us, so we voted for them in our union election, and we expect that on Monday we will be unionized with Actors Equity.
The weekly events garnered the Coalition of Strippers national attention and even brought in celebrity support from Tom Morello, the guitar player for Rage Against the Machine.
The exotic dancers in North Hollywood are protesting are making history, and I want to be a part of it. So where I'm gonna be right on that front line for Joe Hill and Cesar Chavez, who fought in their own time for our brothers, our sisters, up and down that picket line. For the unnamed and unnumbered who struggle brave and long, for the union men and women standing up and standing strong.
From there, the dancers were back to work in May of 2022 after a settlement with the club's owner, Kazarian.
Steve and Jenny, you're no good. Treat your workers like you should.
Dancers called for a one-night picket line on December 7th, 2023, during a 3-day strike to bring attention to what they continue to allege are unfair labor practices and bad faith bargaining.
What's disgusting? Union busting. What's disgusting? Union busting.
Some of the actions taken against the dancers include write-ups for sexually suggestive dances, physical contact during private dances, and engaging with potential clients outside of their stage time.
This is made up of the disciplinary written warnings that have been given to Cinder.
And one final write-up.
And one final write-up. One final warning is included in this amazing piece.
Dancers say that these activities are a long-recognized tradition of their profession, and the penalties from the management are in retaliation for engaging in union activity.
These dancers, these workers, these strippers have been at this for such a long time, and all they've ever asked for is to be treated fairly and paid fairly and respected.
We did not know that the business was going to be cashless, and we had heard across the bargaining table that they were going to charge a cover fee, and we were very against that, and especially for how much it was. So the club went from being with no cover fee at all, $0, to $40. The fact that they continuously stand between us and the customer, between us and making a living, that's the part that has just been maddening, because it just doesn't seem, it's so unnecessary.
They did the right thing. They voted. They exercised their right. They voted to get a union. And what's supposed to happen next? You're supposed to have the right to bargain a contract in good faith.
Yes.
These workers are not alone. Is that right?
Yeah!
The 50,000 plus members of Actors Equity and all the other unions here tonight, that labor movement stands in solidarity with these workers.
Sex work is work! Sex work is work!
As Star Garden topless dancers achieved their gains, the broader sex work community, including escorts and street workers, continue to challenge Los Angeles city and federal laws that they say keep them in danger.
1, 2, 3, 4, I'm a person, I'm a whore!
2, 4, 6, 8, I get paid to masturbate.
2, 4, 6, 8, I get paid to masturbate!
The Coalition of Sex Workers took their grievances to City Hall on December 18th, 2023, in a die-in demonstration meant to illuminate the dangers they see in laws that force them offline and subject them to raids by the police.
When sex workers come under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back!
Stand up, fight back!
We're doing a die-in today to protest the raids that are going to be going on in the Figueroa corridor, where there's a lot of street-based sex work, as well as sex workers who are working out of the hotels in that area.
Hey, I'm a hoe! Sex and sauce is got to go! Hey, I'm a hoe! Sex and sauce has got to go!
Sesta Fosta is what put everybody back on the street. So one of the things I'm going to be talking about today is Sesta Fosta. It's supposed to be a sex trafficking bill that protects children. I had retired in 2013. I retired from all forms of sex work. But because I was working as a BDSM educator, and because this legislation is keyword-based, all my classes were taken down. I was kicked off a bunch of sites. I'm a woman in my 50s.
that stopped doing sessions at 35, and now in my 50s, because of this law, I am back doing sex work. So if this is supposed to help people get out of sex work, it didn't work for me. The difference between sex work and sex trafficking: sex work is a job. Sex trafficking is an atrocity. Say it back. Sex work is a job. Sex trafficking is an atrocity.
Sex workers rallying outside Los Angeles City Hall demanded that sex work and human trafficking be treated as two separate and distinct issues.
Sex work is work!
Sex work is not human trafficking. Human trafficking is not sex work. That's what we're here to ask for the separation of these two issues. Sex work is work!
They specifically called out and booed City Attorney Heidi Feldstein Soto, a Democrat, for what they describe as plans to arrest sex workers ahead of the 2028 Olympics under the guise of stopping human trafficking for the sake of the city's image in the eyes of the international community.
All right, so Heidi Feldstein Soto is anti-sex worker. Coming for us. She is saying that she is fighting sex trafficking on the Figueroa corridor. But we know better. What is she actually doing? She's going to bring in Homeland Security, the FBI, federal prosecutors, local prosecutors, a huge amount of firepower. And what is she actually doing? She's going to be arresting sex workers. We know this is the playbook. It happens over and over again. They conflate sex trafficking with consensual sex work, and they don't come to us and ask, what does your community want to deal with exploitation? They don't ask us. We know. We know that we need housing. We know that we need health care. We know that we need decriminalization of sex work to be safe in our labor.
While sex workers say federal laws like Sesta Fosta force them onto the streets, local politicians appear poised to continue using police to get them off of them and into jails.
So we very much believe that what Heidi Soto is going to be doing in the Figueroa corridor is absolutely about creating a pathway for gentrification and making us look good in the eyes of the world ahead of the Olympics. This is a playbook that has been used over and over again. We know Giuliani did that in New York. And what devastation that caused. We don't want that to happen to our city. We're fighting back against the gentrifiers.
Sex workers unite!
Sex workers unite!
When we fight, we win!
Whether any policies will change before the 2028 Olympics remains to be seen, but sex workers will continue to fight for their profession as an extension of labor.
Heidi Soto doesn't know we are proud to be a hoe.
Heidi Soto doesn't know we are proud to be a hoe.
Heidi Soto doesn't know we are proud to be a hoe.
Heidi Soto doesn't know we are proud to be a hoe. Sex work is work.
Sex work is work.
Sex work is work.
Written and produced by Jake Lee Green, co-produced, voiced, and edited by Ford Fischer for Activism Uncensored, a collaboration with the Racket.